This movie tells the story of an unusual relationship between a young painter named Matthias and a much older woman named Merle, who is also an art lover. As art and love begin to mix, the boundaries between them slowly blur until they reach the end of a story filled with question marks. The relationship, which initially seemed simple, slowly turns into something hard for both of them to understand. The story begins in an art gallery owned by Matthias, where he is seen trying to contact Merle, a woman who was interested in buying his painting. They then agree to meet at Merle's office, and Matthias is asked to bring the painting there. This meeting was the beginning of a relationship they had never imagined before. Matthias then walks to Merle's office carrying his painting, but before meeting Merle, he had tried to show the painting to another gallery. Unfortunately, the gallery was not interested in buying it. This rejection increasingly shows that Matthias is in a difficult situation as a young painter. Matthias finally meets Merle and presents the painting to her. Merle examines the painting carefully and expresses her interest in buying it, but instead of completing the deal in the office, Merle asks Matthias to follow her home so the painting can be displayed on the wall she wanted. From Merle's behavior, it was clear that her interest in the painting was not just because of its artistic value. Matthias agrees to the request, and when he arrives at the house, Merle asks Matthias to stand in a corner of the room holding the painting, as she wants to make sure whether the position and size of the painting fit the wall she chose. The quiet atmosphere of Merle's house makes Matthias begin to see another side of this woman's life. After feeling satisfied with the painting, Merle celebrates with Matthias in a more relaxed atmosphere. Merle begins to show interest and affection toward Matthias, but Matthias is merely silent and does not seem to respond much to the attention Merle gives him. Matthias's cold attitude makes their relationship seem even more mysterious. The next morning, Matthias wakes up from his sleep and begins looking at the wardrobe filled with various valuable clothes carefully arranged inside. He seems to look at everything with curiosity, as if he is in a completely different world from his own life. Shortly after, Merle appears and invites Matthias to have breakfast together. While they eat, Merle continues to observe Matthias sitting in front of her. In a firm tone, Merle then tells Matthias to learn how to be kind and respect the people around him. Upon hearing these words, Matthias looks surprised, feeling that Merle's words were like a hidden warning, while at the same time showing that Merle is starting to try to change his behavior. After breakfast, Merle takes Matthias to a special room she had prepared. In the room, a blank canvas is already available. Merle asks Matthias to paint the exact same painting again as the picture she bought from him earlier. From her request, it was clear that Merle wants to make sure whether the painting Matthias sells is truly his own work or not. She wants to see Matthias's abilities directly without relying solely on the painting she bought. In the afternoon, Merle finds Matthias sleeping without working on the painting she requested. Merle then approaches him as if she understands what Matthias really needs, and she does not force him immediately, as if she wants to know what is stopping Matthias from starting to paint. The next morning before leaving, Merle leaves a piece of money on the table and hopes that Matthias will finish his task soon. Shortly after that, Matthias finally begins working on the painting, and slowly he starts pouring his abilities back onto the blank canvas. That night, Merle returns home and sits with Matthias, and both of them then look at the painting Matthias has finished. In the silence, Merle seems to have received an answer to her doubts about Matthias's abilities. However, at night, Matthias wakes up after hearing the sound of singing coming from the living room. He slowly walks out of the room and tries to find the source of the sound, and it turns out he finds Merle singing alone in the living room. This scene makes Matthias see a different side of Merle from the firm personality he knew. The next day, Matthias appears before Merle wearing clothes he had taken from the wardrobe. Seeing this, Merle looks very angry and asks Matthias to take off the clothes immediately. After that, Merle takes him back to the special room to ask Matthias to finish his painting immediately. Merle's stance shows that she still wants to maintain the boundaries and rules in her house, but Matthias stands still in front of the blank canvas. He stands before Merle as if he is still hesitant to start painting. Matthias then says that maybe he will continue the painting later. This hesitation makes the atmosphere between them feel tense again and unpredictable. Merle then approaches Matthias and tries to understand what he really wants. Shortly after, Merle takes a glass of drink in her hand and slowly pours it onto Matthias's clothes. This moment brings the two closer and develops into a romantic relationship, and from that moment, their relationship is no longer just tied to painting. After several moments, Merle wakes up from her sleep and immediately looks for Matthias, but the man is no longer in Merle's room. She then looks for him in the living room, but Matthias is not there either. Matthias's sudden departure makes Merle begin to realize that something has changed. Merle's look immediately turns to sadness when she realizes that the painting previously bought from Matthias and displayed on the wall has disappeared. The painting was taken away by Matthias and replaced with a blank canvas. The scene seems to leave a message that something Merle once possessed has now been reclaimed by the person who created it. The movie then ends showing Matthias sitting alone in a park, staring blankly ahead with a facial expression that is hard to read. Beside him, he sees the painting he took away from Merle's house. In that silence, the story of Matthias and Merle ended without a truly clear explanation of what they were actually feeling, and the movie ends. If you like this movie, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video to get all new videos.